All right, so today on Cody's Garage, we're going to be taking this old 283 apart. This was the motor that was originally in that. Well, I say originally, when we got it in that 72 C10. That was originally a 307 truck. You saw in one of the last videos where I got everything starting. You know, I think it's starting or reviving not so old cars. Part 2 is where I started that. It is an old car, but the rest aren't. But anyway. This was the original motor in it that my grandfather, when he bought the truck, it had in it, and now my dad and I have it, and we've had it 12 years, 13 years, something like that, and we're slowly redoing it. But this motor is actually locked up, and my dad and I got it unlocked 4 or 5 times, and just finally this last time it would not unlock. So that's why we put that 307 in there. But this time we're gonna be taking it apart and seeing why. It's locked up, and if we can fix it, great. If we can't, well, we'll go from there. But let's get into it. So I'm going to start by taking these valve covers off, because you got to take the intake off. So is that one a different size? How is that one a different size than that one? That one's right. Yeah, that one's right. There we go. So I'm positive we didn't put... We never had these valve covers off, but that's why I know everything was done right. We didn't do it. But we're going to take these valve covers off and see what's underneath, see if there's any obvious signs of valves being messed up or whatever. I don't think we ever did lash adjustment, because this never ran. We had it 5.5 years, 6 years. No, we had it longer than that. We had it like 8 years with that motor in there, with this motor in there, trying to get it to run. As you can see, we put a chrome timing chain cover on there, because at one time we put a double roller timing chain in it, and we think that's part of the reason that it stopped working on us, and it actually finally locked up. Because for those of you that don't know, these had phenolic gears in the timing chain set, and all of those were sheared off when we opened that. So I'm assuming those either got in the oil pickups and the oil galleys or somewhere that's making it so that it's not starting. And hopefully all you got to do is just move that piece, and it should come right out then, hopefully. And it should free itself, and then re-gasket it, paint it, put it back together. But I never get that lucky, so we're going to take it even further apart, make sure everything's okay, nothing smashed into anything. So almost got the valve covers off. These are the original valve covers that were on this motor. So that, and to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what year this motor is, because like I had mentioned before, this was not the original motor to that C10. So who knows what year this motor actually is. We could actually probably pull a number off of somewhere, and off of the block back here, and look and see at least when the block was manufactured. We should be able to do the same thing with the heads once we get it off and get it in the light where we can see. But for those of you that don't know, that wonder why I'm taking 2 things off, come on, give me the bolt. So there's a bolt, and there's these little washers that sit right down in the curved part where the bolt goes in. Those taken off to make sure I kept them. But all right, so that's the first time that's been off in like at least 8 years. That one's loose. That one's really loose. So the motor won't turn over. The motor won't turn over for us to see if that's right or not. I'm almost wondering if we bent a push rod at some point See, that one's tight, but that might just be on the lifter. But we'll see. Hopefully that's all that is. We're gonna set that right there. But that side, just from a visual inspection, looks decent. I mean, it doesn't look like it'd make it not run, you know. Apparently that one, that little tab got lost on that one. Same thing on this one. So this valve cover was probably off at one time. I worked, every time Dad worked on that truck after I was born, at least, since it was my grandfather's, and my grandfather had it since 1980, I think. You know, since I've been born and working on it with him, we haven't taken this off. I'm not saying that my old man back in the 90s didn't do that, but Dad, why didn't you tell me you did that if you did that? No, I'm just kidding. It's not a big deal. But we're going to go ahead and take this off then and see where we're at on that. These ones down in here are hard to get to because of these manifolds. Oh, and as you see, we sold the distributor out of this for the 307 that's in there, because that one was in better shape. I'll have to see if I can find a distributor in our parts pile and stuff to throw back in there. Just set it in there so that nothing gets in there. Well, I mean, I guess we're gonna have it apart, so it doesn't really matter. It does and it doesn't, I guess. I'll get that out of here in 1 second. So those bolts. Alright, I was able to get both of those bolts. So, this side's really carboned up. Like, really badly carboned up. All these are really loose, except that one. So that would be the intake of number 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4 of 8. Of number 8. So hopefully that's not attributed to something stuck in the motor. Hopefully that's just attributed to it you know, to it being on that side of the camshaft, of the lobe of the camshaft. But, and then as for the intake here, apparently there's only 2 bolts holding this intake on. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't 100% remember, but I'm pretty sure I didn't take them bolts out of there when we pulled the motor, but who knows. Man, there we go. Had to get a 9/16 swivel socket for these. I couldn't get on them either, otherwise. Oh, crud. I might need to get over to the other side. Why is that being that way? I'm on it and then it doesn't want to stay on. There we go. Trying not to break these off, but we didn't. We got them. We got them. All right, so the camera died, but all I did was take out 2 of the bolts. That's all I did. But then apparently there are studs here that were holding on. One was holding on some type of bracketry. The other one looks like it had a bracket on it at one time, but it no longer does. I just went ahead and broke them loose and off camera. And now that I got you back up, we're gonna go ahead and take those out. See, it's got a stud. there. And then I got that one broken loose. That one's out. And now, in theory, should be able to break this guy loose and get him off. But it looks like there's the old thermostat that was in there. It looks like it is seized on there because it looks like it was leaking at one time. So somebody put a whole bead of silicone on. That's part of it. Oh, that's part of the valve cover gasket too. So let's see if we can. Oh, I got the studs out, and hey, look at that! It's gonna come right off. Holy crud! All right, we're gonna get him up. There we go. Wow, that's heavy. It's like half the weight of the motor. Wow. Got a leaf down in here. Actually, 2 leaves. Alright, well, it's not terrible. Not terrible, I guess. All the lifters are in there. Here, I'll have to bring you over here and show you. It's not terrible. I mean, it's the, well, gotta get my big hands out of the way. But yeah, the push rods don't look terrible. None of them really look all that bent to like stop this from working. So I don't know. We'll have to take the heads off next and see what we got there. All right, so I've got all the push rods here in a box, starting with number 1, going to number 8, and none of them are bent. So with all of those being unbent, that should tell us that we didn't bend a push rod or anything, and that the lash was set correctly and everything. So next, it's time to take off the heads here. It looks like it's just a couple bolts, and we can go from there. We'll go ahead and straighten these back out now that I loosened them up. So I just took a socket and loosened them up. There we go. All right. So then I'll find a socket, clean that up, and then we'll take the heads off, and I'll show you guys what's on the underneath side of that. All right. I haven't seen this yet. Moment of truth. Holy shnikes, it's heavy. All right, so there's that. You know, the bores really don't look too bad. Let me get you in here and look. The bores really don't look all that bad at all on this side. So let's get the other side off and see how those look. All right, so there's the bores on this side. They don't look too bad. I mean, there's a lot of stuff down in there, but it doesn't look terrible. I mean, it's really gritty, but other than that, I mean, this one is running really well. There's nothing on that one. This one, you know, there's all kinds of grit down there and stuff, all kinds of calcium buildup. But all in all, it's not too bad. So let's see if we can turn it over now. Nope, just tightening that bolt. Let's go the other way, see if we can break it the other way. Nope, just loosening the crank bolt. Man, it's stuck on something. It's like one of those connecting rods is stuck on something. Well, I guess let's take the power steering pump off and flip this over, make another mess, and go from there. See what we can do as far as getting this unlocked, because the bores really don't look bad at all. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I think I figured out why this motor locked up. If you can see on that oil filter there, it says Fram. That's why it locked up. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why it locked up yet. I'm gonna take the oil pan there off, and then I'll show you what's inside. Alright. So I got all the bolts out up here. It's missing 3 bolts up front here. On the front. Hopefully they didn't silicone this on. That's gonna suck if they silicone this on. Don't pay attention to the coolant and oil on the floor. I forgot we didn't drain the block before I flipped it over. So 2.5 bags of stay dry later. Right here. But I really hope that they did not silicone this on. It's going to suck if they silicone this on. And it looks like they did. There's a little bit of silicone on the on the threads of that. And that's pulled up there. So I don't know if we're gonna have to pop that there or what. Yep. And my dad was a mechanic, so he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have put RTV on that. That's why I'm thinking this definitely wasn't a brand new motor when it got put in. So that's why I'm thinking it was either like reman or overhaul or something. Man, look at all that. I don't know if you can see. Look at all that sludge in there. Well, and unfortunately, there is no phenolic in here. I was hoping, since it had phenolic gears, I was hoping that the pieces would be in here, but they probably circulated through the motor at this point from us cranking on it back in the day. 8 years ago. So they're probably well in the motor by now. If there ever were phenolic pieces in here. Well, everything's nice and tight. So, Okay. Because we couldn't get this motor to turn over. It ran for 30 years after that, and it got parked in 97. Or, well, 17 years after that. Then my dad, after my grandfather passed, put it up in a cornfield. And, because 3 years later I was born. And we ended up getting it out of that cornfield. Why in the hell are you not turning? Why are you not turning? Why? Everything looks fine. The bores look fine. Pistons look fine. What I can see of the cam looks decent. Pistons look fine. Huh. Yeah, I'm wondering. Because it should turn. I'm wondering if that harmonic balancer's in there pressed in too tight. There it is. There it is, turned over. So, we took it apart for nothing. But see, it won't turn off of that. It'll only turn off of those. So, it's tight. It's really tight. For whatever reason. But it's moving. Right there's a tight spot. Right there's another tight spot. It does have a tight spot in it, so let's go another rotation. Oh, we might have worked that spot out. We might have worked that spot out. It's getting a little bit easier now. Alright, so now let's turn it back over. This is gonna make another mess, but let's get that out of there. And this thing needs a little too. Alright. Now that board looks fine. What did I do with? Yeah, all these bores are looking great. All the lifters are lifting, everything. Wonder if that's all that was. Is that seal was dried out. It had to have been what it was, but either way, it's good that we pulled this apart because it needed a full rebuild. So we don't have to pull the timing chain cover off. But what I will do is I will spray penetrant down in the bores and stuff. But yeah, those bores look great. I'll show you here. See, there's that piston. I think that's number 2, I think. So then 2, 4, 6, and 8. I mean, look at those bores. And then around here, same thing. I mean, they're at the top. It's a little on the crusty side. We'll hone them, but they're looking great. All right, so I think I may have found the culprit as to why this engine locked up. So this right here, this lifter, one, it doesn't want to come out. None of the lifters want to come out. I mean, I've gotten those ones out so far, but it's a lot of brake clean and WD-40, but nonetheless, that one, every time it comes up, the motor like almost chirps. So there's a hard spot right as that one comes up. So I'm wondering if I take that out and spin it over, if it's going to be any different or not. I hope so. I hope that it's just a stuck lifter. And then if it is a stuck lifter, I hope it didn't, you know, wipe the cam or anything. But we'll have to see. All right, so it turns out, as you can see by the casting number right here, 3970020, this is a 307. And then you come over here to the VIN tag here. V, that's for Flint, Michigan. Then I believe that's just the model number. And then TDL, that means that this is a 307, 1972 307 2-bolt main, which this is a 2-bolt main. We saw that earlier. And then with that, that means that's a 307. The truck that it came out of is a 72C10. So it turns out this is the original motor, because that truck was also made in Flint, Michigan. But what I found out is I started pulling some of these lifters out. They're extremely hard to come out. And you can see the pitting and all that kind of stuff down in the bottom of that. That was riding on that cam. So I am going to take a wild guess here and say that cam's shot. I mean, look at how dish that lifter is. The top of the lifter's fine, but looking at that dish there, it's seen better days. And you come back here, look at these. These ones are how they're supposed to look. You know, where they're sitting like that a little bit, you know, a little bit concave. Same thing with that one, but see, that one's also tore up one there too. So I don't know. I think when those phenolic gears broke, because for those of you that don't know, timing chain on these were nylon phenolic. It was supposed to run quieter for whatever reason, but it ended up breaking once or twice when we started trying to get it started, and ultimately that's probably what ended up wiping out the cam. But we'd have had no way of knowing that. We put a double roller in it, and you know. But turns out the lifters are actually stuck. I can't get any of them out. It's been 2 days for me to get these out. So I'm going to work on taking the rest of these out. And we're going to have to put a cam in this at some point, since especially this is the original motor. And we're going to go through the heads and stuff. But you can actually see where, actually this piston's been replaced. But the rest of these, you can see where this one was running really rich. And then this one here on this side got washed down with gas, as clean as they are. So, and I believe there's a new piston on, yep, the cylinder. This one's got a new piston in it. But nonetheless, it's had 2 new pistons and stuff. But yeah, so it's going to need a camshaft and all new lifters. The heads are going to have to be gone through. So unfortunately, I don't have the money for that right now. So I'm going to take all the lifters out, work on that for the next couple of days. And then, you know, probably at some point, we are going to put a cam back in this, get those heads gone through at a local machine shop, and we'll go from there. And of course, like always, I will video that and post that here. All right, so you're going to be seeing more videos on this truck coming up here soon. But anyway, I believe that does it for this episode of What is Cody Breaking Now? But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you, first responder, for me. God bless, and have a great day, guys.